Hi.
Hi.
It's Eddie the Puerto Rican Piper with Holly, the Mrs. Puerto Rican Piper.
Yep.
It's a Sunday night. It's the New Year's Eve, and we don't have work tomorrow. Nope. So I'm sous videing pork chops.
Yep.
Is that a word, sous videing?
Sous vide, it is now.
So pork chops are on the sous vide.
It is now.
So they still have maybe an hour and 15 minutes to cook. They were frozen, so I added a half hour. And we are drinking, Kraken? Kraken. Mm-hmm. Kraken rum with Dole Pineapple Orange.
Yep.
And I'm chooching on the last of my Sutliff Christmas spice on my Savinelli 320. I almost forgot what I was smoking on.
It smells great.
Thank you.
It smells very good.
So how was your day today?
My day was fine. How was yours?
It was fine.
Good.
Got up later. We
did.
We went out and did some errands.
Uh-huh.
I got my beard trimmed today. I went to a local barber shop who I found out did some beard trimming for really cheap. And
he did a good job.
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah.
I think it looks good.
He told me that my beard has a tendency to curve this way, which I know it does, and I've seen that in my other videos. He said we're going to work with it. So I think he took a little bit off, too much off here and here, but
I think it looks good. Yeah. I think it looks.
It's
really
not
good.
a George Bruno cut, and George, you're like 2 hours away from me, and I wish I could go up there and get my beard trimmed.
You totally have to do that one day.
I think I will.
You have to.
I was going to do it on my birthday back in November, but the salon was closed, so I was like, well, so much for that.
Okay.
And today, I got my free Google Home Mini. My Home Mini. So if you are a member of Spotify and have the family membership, they will send you a free one. They just emailed me and said, hey, we have a Google Home Mini for you. What's your address? I'm like, oh, okay. So it came today finally. So I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to hook it up or not. I might sell it. I don't know. That's been my day.
Yeah.
We're sous videing.
We're sous videing. We're having a cocktail.
Yeah.
It's a good night.
So something happened at the end of when I got my beard trimmed. The barber, who was the proprietor, was talking. We were talking about where his old location was and how a marijuana dispensary was moving into his old location. And Holly's ears perked up at the mention of a marijuana dispensary. She got into a conversation with the barber about this. So, what was your thoughts on this? Holly is not opinionated at all. I just want to let you know this.
Yes,
She's not an opinionated woman in any way whatsoever.
Well, here it goes. Okay, so honestly.
Wait, I have to get my soapbox on it.
Oh God.
Can you step up real quick?
Okay. How?
Oh wait. All right. Now you're on the soapbox. Soapbox is ready. Let's go.
No, honestly, it's just I'm just tired of the whole marijuana thing. I really am.
Why?
Yeah. First and foremost, let me just say that if you, in all seriousness, if you have cancer or you're battling some kind of horrible disease and marijuana gives you relief from that, and it's medically regulated, I have no issue with that. I don't. But I'm so tired of young people who just want it legalized, and I'm so tired. It's just I was a bank teller for almost 4 years because banking,
in Baltimore City.
In Baltimore City.
You have to tell them some of the stories about that. Well, that's another time.
That's another show. And but even in the suburbs, even in the suburban counties that I worked in, I don't want to deal with you if you're drunk. I don't want to deal with you if you're high. I don't. I shouldn't have to. And whenever people start talking about legalizing marijuana, it's like, oh great. So now instead of just dealing with drunks, now I get to deal with people who are high and like what? Like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't get paid enough to deal with that. So, which is why I'm no longer in it. But I just feel like it's just more of the dumbing down of society. You know, I mean, you and I have a couple of cocktails in the privacy of our home.
In the privacy of our home.
Right.
And we never leave when we start
No.
drinking. When happy hour starts,
No,
we don't go anywhere.
Exactly. No way. That's why we grill a lot. It's why we sous vide a lot. We cook our own meals. We stay home. We have a couple of cocktails. That's it. If we do go out and we have a drink, we have one. You know, unless we've had like a really heavy meal, we might have two, but usually we have one. And you know, it's just kind of like, but all this, legalize this, legalize that. I mean, you want to just make everything legal one day so everyone can just walk around stoned? Because that's really what it's about. It's about them just wanting to walk around stoned all day and not having to worry about getting in trouble for it.
So, who should say
from people who are suffering from disease?
Right. But who should say who can get stoned and who can't get stoned?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to deal with you if you're stoned.
I mean, should the government say you're not allowed to be stoned?
I'm not saying that. I really don't want to dive into that. But I can tell you from being a former teller, from being a former retail worker, from being in like any line of work, really, I don't want to deal with clientele who are stoned. I just don't. And if it's legalized, you're going to have a lot of clientele who are stoned. I don't get paid enough to deal with that. None of us do, for the most part. We don't. So, you know, it's just, and you know, if someone drives drunk, there's a breathalyzer for it. Well, what's the limit for you if you're driving high? What's the limit?
I'm pretty sure
is it 1 joint, 2 joints, 3?
I'm pretty sure there's some sort of procedure the police have to determine whether you're that's driving under the influence. That's DUI. It can be alcohol.
I don't know. I'm just kind of like, God, really? Because people are doing it no matter what, whether it's legal or not. They're doing it. And it's just, and all I'm saying is that from the viewpoint of a former bank teller, I don't want to deal with you if you're drunk or if you're stoned. I don't. I think that's just, you know, keep it in the privacy of your own home. Don't be going out in public acting like a fool and expecting everyone else to put up with you. I don't want to.
I think what really got you was the barber said that people are assholes when they're drunk. And people,
but that's
let me finish. And people are more chill and mellow when they're stoned. And he would take people being stoned any day of the week over drunk assholes. That was his comment.
Yeah,
I think that's what got your ire going.
Yeah, but the thing is that he just basically he basically put everyone who drinks into a category of, if you drink, you're automatically a drunk asshole, because he was obviously pro marijuana. I'm sorry, but I'm drinking. I don't feel like I'm a drunk asshole. But you know what I mean. I just felt like I felt like he came off being very stereotypical.
Do you think he wasn't really condescending. He was more like,
but every time he was always like, well, I'd rather be around a bunch of stoned people than a bunch of drunk assholes. I'm sorry, but I don't hang out with drunk assholes. I don't.
Not the last time I checked, no.
If you do, that's your problem. Fix it. I don't. So I don't associate people who are having a couple of drinks in their home or in their yard or around the fire pit as being a drunk asshole.
Well, those are things we do.
Right.
You just ticked off. You just iterated through.
Yeah. So
I
kind of felt like he was saying, well, if you're not okay with marijuana, then you're just a drunk asshole who wants their alcohol.
Oh, so just to be clear,
no.
Are you for alcohol over marijuana, or are you just saying? I guess I'm confused what your stance is. I mean, are you saying that people shouldn't? It's okay if people drink alcohol if they are in their homes. In that case, can they smoke marijuana if they are in their homes and don't leave?
No, I think everything in moderation. and I understand the
And you just don't want
arguments.
people going out in public,
Right.
both drunk and
Or stoned.
which
I don't.
which begs the question: is the whole topic of this dispensary? Is it the fact that, I mean, you're assuming that people are going to be going out in public?
You're assuming they're going to be going out in public, yes. And like I said, as a former bank teller and as a former retail worker, I dealt with a lot of people who unfortunately were drunk and or stoned from time to time. It wasn't what I would call often, but it happened enough to where I have a bad taste in my mouth for it.
Well, you shouldn't have your mouth open when they're going around you. Then
You're so funny. Wow. Okay. But
dad jokes rule.
yeah, they do. No, I just feel as though, like if you're going to drink alcohol, drink it in moderation. Preferably in your own home, because you shouldn't be out driving
No.
if you're drinking. If you're out at a restaurant, obviously, and you have a drink, that's fine. Just keep it to a limit, because it's about safety and it's about self-respect. And nobody wants to deal with a drunk lush out in public. And just, you shouldn't expect other people to want to put up with you.
And that applies to high people too.
And that applies to high people
So
too.
smoke in your house
Exactly.
in moderation, and don't expose yourself to your highness in public.
Yeah, because I don't want to deal with it,
All right.
and I'm sure other people don't want to deal with it either.
All right.
That's just kind of how I feel about it. I mean, do you know how challenging it is to help someone reset their PIN or recall the charges on their statement when they're so high they can't remember what they did yesterday?
No, I've never done that.
I have.
I know.
And it's not pleasant. It's not. You're just sitting there the whole time because you have to be professional, but you're really thinking to yourself, just go home. Like, just go home and sleep this off and come and talk to me when you can form a coherent sentence. You shouldn't, that's kind of my thing. And whether you're drunk or high, I don't want to deal with you. I don't.
Did they act like Mr. Tally from South Park?
Yeah.
I'm so
a few of them
high.
did.
Oh man, I'm so high.
A few of them did, and you were just like, oh my God, really? Because my job isn't hard enough, now I have to deal with you. So that's where I just have a bad taste in my mouth for it. But no, I don't believe in telling people what they can and cannot do in their own home, as long as it's legal.
Now, to preface this, and without getting too much into it, you had a relative that you were close to who had a drug problem. Mm-hmm. And
it started with marijuana.
it started with marijuana.
Mm-hmm. Because for many people, marijuana is the gateway drug. They
A
can
lot of people argue that it
argue it all they
isn't,
want to,
but you've seen it firsthand.
I've seen it firsthand, yes, I have.
I mean, you have evidence, you have some empirical evidence to back up the claim that it is a gateway drug.
Yes,
It's
it is.
one sample, but it's a personal sample. So
Yeah. And not just for one person, for a couple of people.
That you know of.
Yeah, it's a gateway drug. Actually, 3. It was the gateway drug. It was the drug that opened it up, and that's that's kind of what it was. So I mean,
no, that's good. I just wanted to hang with you a little bit.
yeah.
I think we're going
But
on.
we don't smoke either. We don't smoke anymore either, because let's be honest, smoke in the lungs,
Like cigarettes.
like cigarettes, that's just
I do smoke pipes,
that's
so.
unnatural. Right, you smoke pipes, but it's not in the lungs.
No,
Smoke in the lungs is unnatural. It's not healthy. You're not supposed to have smoke in your lungs.
no. You're not supposed to have smoke in your mouth either, but we're not going to go there.
Yeah, but that doesn't alter your judgment.
No.
It's not altering your judgment. It's not altering.
Well, cigarettes don't alter your judgment either.
No,
We're talking
but
about cigarettes.
it doesn't alter your judgment, but you're breathing it in, and 40,000 Americans die every year of lung cancer. So I mean, there is a lot of there's arguments pro and against.
And not everyone who's watching this video is going to agree with what you're saying, and that's okay. Yeah.
That's totally okay.
Pinch poke on me coke.
That's totally okay. I'm just talking about it from my experience, from what I've had to deal with, and why I don't personally like it.
Right.
You know, I mean, because I wouldn't want you to come into my place of business high as a kite and expect me to want to deal with you. I don't. Just like I don't want you to come into my place of business drunk and expect me to want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you if you're drunk either.
So the moral of this story then is, if you're going to drink or you're going to smoke, or you're going to drink and smoke, don't go to your friendly neighborhood teller and try to make a transaction, because you're just going to be a stupid asshole either way.
Or argue your balance and your charges.
Yes, but I can guarantee you that I would love to have you as my teller any day of the week.
Aw, you're so sweet. And he did do a good job on your beard.
Okay.
Yes, he did. You're welcome.
So I think we're going to end this here.
Okay.
Might not be the only video we make tonight. I kind of want to touch on some of your bank teller in Baltimore issues.
God.
So maybe I might restart this and post another video with that.
Okay.
So if I don't post that video the same day, I will post it. So until then, vamos chuchar.
What do you say?
It's right.